Hello, once again, everybody. This is Michael with Soaring Studios, and today we're not in the studio because I'm putting up some more storage and trying to get a few things organized while I have this little break. This week, I've given myself permission to not work on the business because there's so many things that need to be done around the house that's mainly what I'm working on. I'm putting up shelves in the roommate's office, putting shelves up in the studio, and I've put a shelf and quilt rods up in my bedroom. So I'll show you pictures of all that or images of all that at some point when everything's finished. The stains had dry in 1 hour. Yeah, right. So that's going to be a little bit. Okay, so I've got a whole list of things here that I want to talk about today. What am I reading? I'm actually reading a couple of things right now. I should be reading several things. Um, I am reading The Artist Way. I'm sorry, I can't remember the woman's name because I'm actually listening to it, so I don't see her face often. And I'm also reading a series of books. Right now, it's Time and Comfort is the book. Before that was Bed and Breakfast, but it's a trilogy from this author, and they're that close to romance novels. The nice thing is, actually, I'm enjoying the fact that there's actually no sex in it. They just leave and go be into it. It's written so that it's not this whole you know description of sex or metaphors or odd words for and yeah. So that's what I'm reading. The Artist Way. I'm practicing the morning, um, writing 3 pages every morning. So every morning I'm doing my pages, and then I'm also doing the positive affirmations that you're supposed to be doing. And tomorrow or Friday, which is going to be today for y'all seeing this today, I'm actually taking a friend out to lunch, um, and I'm going to have my first artist date, which is something that you're supposed to do every week, and that's go do something that regenerates your soul, feeds your soul. So I'm going to go to a little town up near where my friend is and go to some art galleries that are on the square in a little town called Marietta, Georgia. Um, and because art inspires me, art, kind of. So I'll get to do that. So let's see here. I am also working on remaking Bunnies in the Butter. I don't know if I mentioned this to y'all last week or not, but I'm going to redo it. Everything's going to be switched. What's black is white, and what's white is black. And then the eggs, which are pastel colored in the original, will be left all white, and the bunnies will be multiple colors. And the quilt will be renamed Who Died the Bunnies? So you're supposed to dye the eggs, but they end up dyeing the bunnies. So that's going to be really cute. I started on it last week and completely messed it up. I hate doing piecework. I really do. I can't. I'm not a piecer anymore. I'm just not a piecer. So, like I said, we're putting more storage in the studio, putting up two 8 foot long shelves, and I made all the brackets yesterday and painted them. Um, and they're still a little sticky, but I went ahead and hung them. Bought the wrong size wood. I don't know what I was doing at Home Depot. I just zoned out and bought, I think, 1x8 instead of 1x12, which so it's all going back tomorrow. Let's see what else. Like I said, I got a list here again. So, what's going on with the business? So, like I said, this week I gave myself permission not to do a lot with the business, although yesterday I did put 337 postcards in the mail going to all the quilt shops in every adjoining state. I'm in Georgia, so Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Alabama, as well as Georgia. So I sent postcards out to all those, and we'll see what kind of business I get on that. Um, the postage was $124 worth of postage. They're 36 cents stamp, but once you, that's my foot that keep popping up. Once you print out all the postage for all those, it was quite expensive. But like I said, once they get it, it's after that it's automated. They can go on the website, or you can go on the website if you're a retailer and buy 5 patterns for one price. It's half the half, of course, half the retail. It's wholesale, but they're in blocks of 5, so you can buy them and put them in your store. On that note, had quite a bit of problems trying to get stuff to print correctly. For some reason, it the margins are different on the laser printer than on my inkjet printer or on my graphic designer's printers. So he had to do some adjusting to the graphics. Also, for some reason, I can't get it to print correctly on the inside of the cover. So what I'm going to have to do is print the outside of the cover, 5 of those, and then reload it, load the image for the inside of the cover, load that, print those, and then go through and print 5 copies of the pattern. Because it's going to be on regular bond paper where I've got a heavy coated glossy paper for the covers. So that's something to do. So that's all set up and ready to go. Thank goodness. Just in time, being I got the cards in the mail. So hopefully I'll be getting orders soon for shipping all those out. Then I'm going to get to see what postage actually cost me on these puppies because I have not weighed them out. I went with stamps.com, so I was able to print out my own postage for all the postcards instead of having to buy $124 worth of postcard stamps. I was just able to print them out. Let's see here. Stamp.com, that's going to be kind of interesting because it did print one stamp where I didn't have a stamp, that I did a test stamp, and of course I lost that stamp because once you put money into an account. Once you print out the stamps, it takes the money out of the account. So the stamps are like, once you print them, they're like currency, just like a stamp you'd get from the post office. Um, so that was fun. I put on the artist way and sat there and just took them off the stamps. Stick it, stick it, stick it. So that was fun. What else is going on with the business? Like I said, we had some graphics issues with the printers and whatnot. We had to get straightened out. I told you about that. Um, Still haven't made the first sale. Hopefully that'll change soon. I have been going on Pinterest and promoting things, not paying to promote things, but going on and liking other people and trying to get followers for the Soaring Heart website and trying to do that. I need to spend some time today just going through. And then also did the same thing on Facebook and actually did something that I thought was quite ingenious, and come to find out it actually has a name because I'm not the first person to think of it. There's no original ideas anymore, so um, it's about how you put ideas together that make something original. Let's see here. I can't remember what I was saying. I completely lost my train of thought. It'll come back or it won't, and we'll move on. Or you can write me a question and go, hey, you started on this and you never answered it, and I was curious. So please subscribe to this as well. I don't know what that really does, and I'm kind of new at all this, so we're learning. It's like I said, it's a learning process. I am 57 years old, so it takes a little bit of time to understand things, I guess, especially when it comes to all the electronics and stuff, more so than it did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it seems like I just knew everything about electronics and not computers, because computers kind of came in. We got a computer lab in my high school the year I graduated. So when I was a senior, they got a computer lab. So computers kind of missed me along the way. And I stupidly never took a typing class. If anybody's out there and they're in school, take a typing class. It will help you tremendously. I'm a fairly fast typer, but I have to look at the keys. I can't look at the screen and just type and know where the keys are. I keep trying to do it, and it just doesn't work. So let's move on to some fun stuff. That was what's going on with the business. Let's move on to some cool stuff I found. So I've got her. This is the first thing I found, and I found this on Amazon. And as you can tell, I wear glasses. But I also, I like to do handwork at night when I'm watching TV, and that's when it's a good time to bind the quilts and stuff like that. And I used to have a light on a string that used to sit about here that would shine onto whatever I worked on, but the batteries corroded on that puppy. And I wound up having to throw the thing in the garbage. And this popped up on Amazon, this odd looking device. But what it is it fits around your neck, and then you adjust it to wherever you want it. And then these are three different lights. And of course, you position it however you need to. If you need it tighter around your neck, you can kind of pull it in closer. If you need one up or down. Also, if I'm working on something, under the sink or something like that, I've got additional lighting so I can see what I'm doing. So this is not only good for, sitting here doing handwork, which is going to illuminate it very well. It is also good for other things. So I thought that was really, really cool. It was reasonable. I think it was about $22. So like I said, it's really kind of cool. Lights are there on the ends. The buttons to turn them on are just on the outside. It's right there. And just tap it 3 times to do that. This is rechargeable, so it has no battery, so it does have a charging port. You can see there on the back. So I'll have to charge it periodically. And I guess before I have a big thing coming up, I need to make sure that it's completely charged. I was looking, there's a little felt pad back here, so if it rests up against your neck, it's not going to bother you. So like I said, I thought that was a really cool item. The other thing I found, because I've been sitting down and trying to do some quilting, the last thing I quilted, though, the gloves I used to have, I could have dug them out. I think I threw them out of the garbage. They were yellow. They had these little nubbies on the inside. I picked them up at Home Depot. Loved them, but I found that when the thread breaks, I'd have to take the damn gloves off to rethread the machine. So what I did was I cut off the tip of the forefinger and cut off my thumb, being that's what I usually pull and thread through. So I did that on both hands. Well, after so long, the knitted gloves started unraveling, where I cut through the stitching. And it started to be kind of just bothersome. Well, I was at Home Depot the other day and I saw these, and I liked the way they did the no skid coating. I'm trying not to let you see these until I put them on because they're really cool. I like the way they did the coating. It actually covers all of the fingers. So when I cut through that, cut through that into the plastic, it's saturated. The fabric is saturated with the rubber, and therefore it won't unravel. So, aren't these cool? I feel like either Batman or no, I'm sorry, Spider-Man or Deadpool. Because they're really, really cool. I love the patterns on the back. And like I said, I was able to cut out the fingers. I cut them out at an angle. But you can see the rubber texture goes all the way around the fingers. So I can easily do it. And same thing with the thumb. I was able to cut it out too. Also, I did it at an angle. So it's easy to grab threads. So these are really good. So it gives me, 3 good fingers to push fabric around with. And I absolutely love these. I think these were really cool. Like I said, lots of texture, lots of gripping texture to move that quilt around. I mean, can you hear that? That's all that texture in there. And there's some fuzz that flew out. So like I said, I thought those were really cool, and I liked those, and they worked really well for me. Also, they're easier to take off than the other gloves, because the other ones, I can just grab my finger. I don't have to worry about the unraveling of it. So like I said, I thought these were a lot easier to take off as well. These are by Hyper Tough. And like I said, I picked them up at Home Depot with all the work gloves. And being I'm a man, I went to Home Depot to buy these kind of gloves because my hands are bigger than most of the stuff that is in the quilt stores, because it's made for women and their smaller hands. And yes, I was painting today. I didn't realize I had paint on my hands. I was painting shelves and brackets white, black, and staining them gray in 3 different rooms. Let's see here. We're still on the cool stuff. Actually, that's it for cool stuff. That's all I have with those 2 cool things. And now let's do a little flashback. It's flashback time. Yay! So, a couple of things I want to talk to you about on this thing. Okay, you'll notice that I have it folded, but it's folded on the bias. I think it's the National Quilt Museum or the museum that's in Paducah, Kentucky. I think it's the National Quilt Museum that may just, I can't, there's two of them. I think there's one in Kentucky and one in Nebraska. The one in Paducah, Kentucky, I'm going to. But I was watching a special on them, and they were talking about how they fold their quilts for storage, and they fold them on the bias, which I thought was freaking ingenious because when I'm doing this bend is a lot easier if it's on the bias than the straight of grain. Also here, and it doesn't crease as readily because those fibers are, you already have a little stretch to them. So it doesn't crease as easily. Now, the reason I'm showing you this quilt specifically is because this is the first quilt I ever made. Well, yeah, it's the first, I guess I should say it's the first quilt I ever completed. This is on the website. It's mentioned on the website and photographed on the website as well. But this was my first attempt at full on quilting. I tried a couple of tops. It didn't really catch. This one I saw a special on. It was one of the quilting shows on PBS. And all this is a square of muslin. Okay, that you draw a diagonal line. You draw a line through the middle of it, or you draw a 1 inch. It was a 1 inch double line from corner to corner, and then you flip. You stitch and flip, stitch and flip, stitch and flip, stitch and flip all the way up until you've covered the piece of muslin. So I made two or three of this pattern. I made my mom a lap quilt, which was given back to me when she passed away, or I got back when she passed away. I also did this in a purple and green pattern. No, that wasn't. Nope, that was a different pattern. I'm thinking I don't know where that quilt is. My babies. Where are my babies? So, this was quite ambitious. I don't know if yeah, you can see it pretty well. See the Christmas trees? First free motion stitching ever. And oh my God, I wish you could see how bad it is. Let's see if we can get this close enough so you can actually see the stitching. The stitches are so inconsistent. It's not even funny. It really is hilarious. Um, and the binding on this was a backwards binding. In other words, the backing wrapped around to the front, and then I stitched it down with a sewing machine. Um, and like I said, I mean, I was kind of ambitious on stitching here. There's a holly leaf in the corner. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a holly leaf there. There are Christmas trees across the entire thing. There really are. And this was probably the first thing I actually did for as a quilt for decorating. I made this specifically for Christmas for this living room that we had that was Hunter green was in style, of course, so Hunter green had to be in it. And I used a lot of burgundy. Hunter green and burgundy were pretty much the color scheme in that room. So this became the Christmas quilt that I could throw out during Christmas. And of course, now I leave it out year round so I can see it. So I kind of remember how far I've come. You know, I've done some awesome work. I'm trying to get back to that awesome work. That's what the artist way is supposed to be helping with. Um, so this is video vlog number 2. Hopefully I'll get this one posted correctly and it'll be a little bit better. And maybe there are just a few more of you out there who are watching this. Let's see here. I'm supposed to tell you all this stuff. Please subscribe to the videos, which every time I post one, you'll find out because I got to do it on YouTube and then to my website. And then also, I think Chip Monkey actually is the one that sends it out to y'all. Um, please buy my quilts. Please go buy my quilt patterns. It's at soaringheartstudio.net. Um, and I also have tutorials on there to help you if you have problems with one of the patterns. You can write to me through the website as well if you have any questions, concerns, or any difficulty with the patterns. The patterns all are everything from intermediate to advanced, I would say. And they all are fuse that uses a paperback fuse, not the web fuse, Misty Fuse, which I absolutely love, but I haven't seen or figured out a way to use it the way I do the paperback fuse, which is to draw on it backwards, fuse it, cut it out, fuse it to the fabric. Ba-da-da-da-da. Let's see. So um, I'm rambling because I'm trying to think of what to say, and I don't want to waste your time because we're already at 20 minutes. So I guess I'll just call it a day. Uh, we'll talk about this one another time. Um, this is for one of the classes I actually teach. I do have a class available I teach. I don't have it posted on the website and I don't show it as available. But if anybody is interested, it's actually the first half of the lesson is the principles and elements of quilt design. We actually look at quilts through a projector, project them onto a screen or whatever. Um, so we can actually um, take them apart, look at them, see what why they work or why they don't work. Um, and the funnest thing about that is going online and typing in ugly quilts and finding the ugliest quilts on there because everybody's done it at least once, at least one ugly quilt. Um, I have, and those become my utility quilts. I've got one quilt in my car that is from way, 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 way back. I mean, it has cotton poly fabric in it. And I was told that you can lightly write on there with a pencil and it'll wash out. Well, I didn't hear the word lightly. So I wrote on it with a pencil and it is never washed out. So I just dyed it back, slapped it on there, had my quilter, Margaret Erickson. You can contact me if you need any quilting services. I'm happy to give you her contact information. Um, she's got a long arm and does mainly all over side to side patterns. But I keep getting lost. It's amazing. So let's just say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me today. Questions, comments, concerns, please don't hesitate to give me a caller. Remember, you can reach me at soaringheartstudio.net. Um, there's a link in there, or if you just want to write me directly, it's soaringheartstudio@yahoo.com is my email address. So I hope I hear from everyone soon. Please buy some patterns. I haven't sold the first one yet, but it's summer, I'm told. And it's supposed to be like the downtime. The kids are out of school and people are traveling and national parks are overflowing. And so hopefully, once the kids get back to school and things settle down, people will start settling into a routine and those quilters will come back and look at patterns and hopefully buy one of mine and start doing some fusing and quilting. We will talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.